And I'm back like that. And I'm back like that. Hey, y'all. So we are about to continue this. Oh, right here. This crazy situation because they want Trump out that mug. And I'm all for it. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out. I'm about to share it. It's live now. And this what we doing today. Okay? We doing do that.
And there'll be lots of opportunities to ask her questions about the Epstein files.
But
Chair,
sir,
I got
Mr. Chair, can I ask a question?
She's violated a subpoena from this committee and
From
she
this
should be held in
committee.
contempt for that. That's a fact.
Here's the difference. They have been turning over documents. Now I've said it 100 times. It's not as quick as we would like, but they're turning over documents. And I've been very clear today and in hundreds of interviews.
You can't be serious
we
that 1%
expect the
is
document.
turning over documents. What's the deadline for them? When do
1%.
you expect the full
Well,
document?
in our subpoena, there was no deadline. And
Actually,
then we
there
voted for
was.
the discharge petition, and there's a deadline. The discharge petition's in judiciary. She's coming in front of judiciary. Now that is a
irrelevant to
fact.
this
Don't try to
investigation from the
and
oversight committee.
Bill Clinton's not a victim here, and the media is not going
I do not
to take
think Bill
Republican
Clinton is a
side on
victim,
anything.
but I don't
So
think
let's
Pam
just
Bondi's a
be
victim.
right.
I think Pam Bondi
Chair recognizes
was the one
Mr.
covering this
Biggs.
up.
It's Mr. Biggs, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I would just point out, the previous speaker was talking about peeling back so the public can see what goes on in the committee. I mean,
Welcome to the live testimony at the Capitol right now, y'all. It's live. As you see, I had to kick their live thread out. It's live right now. So listen up, because they really in here they arguing for real. It's going down. Like, what the fuck? Like, let's keep it 100. Trump, they blowing Trump up. They want Trump ass out. Boo, boo, boo. Wake up, y'all. Boo, 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 boo. All them Trumpers out there, yeah, y'all need to listen because your mans need to get out the office. He needs to go, okay? Your mans needs to go. Let's go. Let me listen.
go back and look. Did they ever say anything about Epstein? No, they didn't. But wanting to make a press, wanting to get it on the press, that's why you're making the issue today. Because let's talk about why we need to talk with do this contempt is because former President Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton basically strung us along as we were bending over backwards trying to accommodate their schedule. They didn't show up after we finally had to get a subpoena for him. And
They're trying to subpoena Bill Clinton ass into this hearing. They want him to get in here and tell his testimony. Nah, why don't y'all get Trump to talk about it? How his name was all up and down goddamn files. Like, let's talk about it. Like, get Trump to talk about it. Always trying to dig in everybody else that's not president.
Wix.
years of learning and the solace of friends.
Jeffrey, ooh.
He rode on that plane many times. He was apparently close
there
friends with
too.
him. Jeffrey Epstein
Morning.
claims that, and I don't know if we should believe anything Epstein says for sure, but I mean, Epstein says that he helped set up and fund the Clinton Foundation, and former President Clinton in his note. I mean, this is what he wants. He doesn't want to come in and testify. He wants to do the same thing that he did in previous times. Just, okay, we're going to send a little note that ought to do it. He says something to the effect that he spent significant time in the Clinton Foundation after he left the presidency. Well, if Jeffrey Epstein set it up, then there's some reason to ask questions of both he and the former Secretary of State. They were given a subpoena. It was a lawfully issued subpoena by a standing committee. By the way, I happened to be at that subcommittee hearing. I was there when every Democrat voice voted that out. Nobody objected and said they didn't want him to be subpoenaed. But he was subpoenaed, and he didn't show up. So here we are.
Oh, gosh. Here
And
we go.
with Mr. Chairman, I'll yield time to you if you need it.
I appreciate it. I think that everything that needs to
They
be
want
pointed
Bill
out,
Clinton
we
ass in that
pointed out.
courtroom,
So
too.
I will.
Get them
Then I'll
all.
yield, sir.
Everybody.
Chair, any other members seek recognition?
Chairman.
Mr. Mfume.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to Thank you and the ranking member, and I particularly want to underscore the ranking member's opening statement, and that was that oversight Democrats want the truth about Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and accountability for everyone involved. He said, and I agree, we want transparency, we want the facts, and above all, we want this committee to use its oversight tools in a serious and responsible way. I would be remiss if I did not thank on behalf of all of us the efforts of Representative Rokana of this committee and Representative Massey. Thank God they stood in the way of things and took the heat to get the discharge petition up and voted on. And I want to also point out something that I think is important, that is consistencies, Mr. Chairman. The action that the majority has been proposing today departs from this committee's established practices, including its long-time standing acceptance of written testimony and the level of accommodation this committee has traditionally required before proceeding to criminal contempt, not civil, criminal contempt. I'm glad, as the ranking member has stated, that the Clintons have agreed to testimony and to a transcript and to meet. I agree also that that meeting should not be taking place in New York. It sends the wrong reason for anybody that gets something from this committee. They should come to the committee. It's just that plain and simple. But it departs in many instances with the way this committee has moved on. And I say that because we never know this time next year who might hold that gavel and who on either side may want to go after the current president, his sons, his wife, his family, everybody, and anybody connected to him as a department head.
Yes,
I'm just pointing out the fact that it's a slippery slope. Now, does Bill Clinton have to defend himself? Absolutely, yes. It is a bit curious, however, why we are going after Mrs. Clinton. I've not seen anything, as the gentleman from Massachusetts said earlier, that suggests that she ought to be a part of this in any way or has done something wrong or is complicit in this matter. And I would hope that there's some consideration, Mr. Chairman, to withdrawing at the very least that particular resolution. That just makes me think that this is a fishing expedition and that we want to dust her up a bit if we get her before this committee. Now, a couple of quick things. We're being asked to move forward holding a former president of the United States, again, not in civil contempt, in criminal contempt of Congress. And I'm going to tell you why it's an extraordinary step. Not that it's unprecedented, it's extraordinary, but it is unprecedented in the fact that we did not do that with Richard Nixon. We did not do that with Donald Trump. There was a subpoena, but there was never an attempt to find them in criminal contempt of the Congress or of this committee. It's an extraordinary remedy that's usually reserved for situations where a witness has clearly and willfully defied Congress after extraordinary processes have been exhausted. The majority has not demonstrated that standard so far. I do want to say also that we're in a situation where I don't think that anybody on the Republican or on the Democratic side of this committee is trying to defend former President Clinton. They're trying to find a way to make sure that we're consistent. So the reason we keep hearing the need to have Pam Bondi before this committee is that we're getting ready to bring criminal contempt charges before there's been an investigation. Usually that happens after the investigation. And the notion that somebody is going to come before this committee, Mrs. Maxwell, and take the fifth, I don't care. She's already a convicted criminal. She can't take the fifth. But we can do the actions we ought to be about, and that is to make sure that both of them are before this committee, and then to make sure also, or to suggest, it's up to you and the ranking member, that that meeting takes place and those transcripts are made available, and that Mr. Clinton comes before the committee with counsel so that we then are in a position to move forward. We're taking a big jump here without doing some of the things that we normally do. Now, I'm glad that Ms. Tlaib brought up the matter of victims. She's not here right now, but all of us sat in that room with those victims. It was gut-wrenching. And all of us made a commitment that we would prove that this institution could and would do the right thing. So we're challenged here, Mr. Chairman, and I hope that you and the ranking member can give us a way to proceed here that both of the concerns on both sides are addressed. But if we just move straight as we're going
I
now without
apologize,
an
everybody.
investigation, it begs the question, what happens when the shoe is on the other foot? I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Ms. Simons next. Before I recognize her, I just want to add, with respect to the Hillary Clinton subpoena, you all voted for that. This committee voted for that in a bipartisan manner. Her name was on
Morning,
that list.
KJ.
And with respect to Pam Bondi, again, she's testifying in front of Congress in less than 2 weeks. Chair recognizes Ms. Simon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick comment, and I have a friendly question for my colleague, Ms. Luna. And I'll say a friendly question. I've worked with victims for decades. So few opportunities present themselves for victims to sit face to face with folks who hold power, to beg and plead that everyone who had anything to do with their harm be held to account. So few opportunities. I have been a victim advocate where brilliant young women who have been trafficked across this country have stood in courtrooms and were demanded to testify against their traffickers, and they did with such power and grace in fear that their lives may be taken because of.
See why more than 70,000 professionals use
Not the
Drake Taft.
commercial
It's
shit.
an award-winning, industry-leading.
A number of those young women that I confront their demons, they were murdered
Murder.
because they took a stand.
Ooh.
And so when we did stand in front and sit in front of those victims and they gave us their all, I hope that this is not the only opportunity, Mr. Chair,
Who got murdered?
to speak on their
Amen.
behalf.
Right, because
From our president
Who got murdered?
to everyone in those files,
Who got
forget all the
murdered?
political gains. If these women who are connected with the largest sex trafficking ring in modern day American history cannot get justice, what about the girls in every single state? I mean, it is what it is. That being said, Ms. Luna, you talked briefly about a proposal.
She's not in.
She's out.
That's fine.
There was a proposal put on the table to rethink how we might have a conversation about the Clintons or President Clinton coming in and having a conversation with this body. And I guess that time has passed, but I know that I would love to hear from the former president of the United States. I would love to hear from the Attorney General. I would love to hear.
Yeah, I want to hear from all these people too. Let's keep it 100 real. So let's hear from these people. How former President Bill Clinton, how are you letting your wife even get dragged into this shit you did or allegedly did? But then again, your name is in it. Your name, I really do believe that they all had something to do with something. Like, they all was going to Jeffrey Epstein's island. I really do feel like people were paying for young ladies. Yes, they did. That goes way back when somebody wanted them a V. You already know what I'm talking about, right? A V. And that goes way back. That's exactly what the men wanted. They wanted the V. So I do believe they had a little ring going on. They was luring the girls there. They was telling other girls, come along. They was telling the girls, bring your friends, make sure they young. There was girls telling their stories. They was going to Jeffrey's house. They was seeing these men. They didn't know exactly who they was. They didn't know they were big, powerful men. They ain't know too much. But let's go. Let's finish. Y'all know all this stuff is live too. These are all live testimonies happening right now at the Congress.
The gentlewoman is recognized for 5 minutes to explain her amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think that even listening to this debate throughout our hearing today, our markup today, I think it's really clear that at the heart of this effort to release the Epstein files are very real human beings who have experienced unimaginable harm. They have been repeatedly victimized by the indifference of the U.S. government and the injustice that they face. They deserve peace and healing and justice. When my motion to subpoena the Epstein files passed, this committee resolved to get that justice for those survivors. And I thank Chairman Comer for pushing this effort forward by issuing additional subpoenas for the Epstein estate and the banks. And we know that without the full files from the DOJ, that is just not enough. That's why I'm introducing this amendment, which holds Attorney General Pam Bondi in civil contempt for failing to comply with the August 5th subpoena. And I urge my colleagues to support it. And we believe that we should start with civil contempt because we are serious about this investigation. We want these files and we want to hear from them.
Hey, everybody, welcome.
And we must start there. The Department of Justice needs to be the priority.
Clean the Congress out.
We can move to non-compliance by anyone else, including Ghislaine Maxwell, after we have received those files.
Right.
It has been 5 months, and we're still missing over 5 million pages of documents purportedly. The Department of Justice has only released 1% of those files. They have stonewalled this committee
1%?
since August, and they have failed to provide even the most basic updates. How is that not an insult, both to the authority of this committee and the survivors? Without the full files, how can we know who might have legitimate knowledge or who might be culpable? We wouldn't have to speculate on the Clintons or anyone else's involvement if we had all of those files. And to be clear, I'm certainly not opposed to the president and Secretary Clinton being held accountable for violating the subpoena. But the fact that this effort to hold the Clintons in contempt was fast-tracked and is happening before any action against the Justice Department is just evidence that the Republicans on this committee are not taking this investigation seriously. It is an unequal application of law. And again, it is a bit ironic that these contempt resolutions empower the Justice Department to imprison possibly 2 people for defying the exact same subpoena that they themselves are defying. If this committee wants to be taken seriously, we would be addressing all of the bad actors in this investigation, not cherry picking them for political points. The Justice Department needs to be held accountable for their non-compliance and lack of transparency. They have been selectively producing information, shielding powerful people, and obstructing any efforts for oversight. And if we don't hold them accountable, Mr. Chair, we are too. Just this past Friday, Attorney General Bondi asked a New York federal judge to deny an appointment of a special master to monitor the release of the Epstein files. They don't want a neutral third party making sure they follow the law. I think all of us should be questioning what the Justice Department is doing that they don't want the American people to see. We can't just take them at their word that they'll eventually get around to releasing the files. Quite frankly, they have put up the same, if not far less of an action as the Clintons have. What little information they've released so far has either already been made public or has been a mess of just sketchy redactions. A group of survivors sent a letter to the Justice Department's Inspector General complaining that the redactions had been, quote, selective. They pointed out that multiple times the names of alleged abusers appeared to be redacted, yet some survivors' names and identifying information were released. To be clear, the subpoena I moved to secure does not allow for redactions unless it would protect the identity of a survivor or contains child sex abuse materials. They have had plenty of time to work with this committee to protect survivors' identities. This is bigger than one case. It's about rich and powerful people being protected by each other and institutions. It's about a system that has enabled Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and whoever their co-conspirators are to buy favors and silence from our government. This effort is the one time we could get some real accountability and reclaim the power of this system.
Right.
Republicans, don't drop the ball by allowing Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice to play us for fools. Mr. Chair, you are setting a precedent that non-compliance with this committee will result in immediate contempt proceedings. So I challenge you and my Republican colleagues to put your money where your mouth is and pass this amendment and holding Pam Bondi in contempt. I yield back.
Gentle yields back. I'll recognize myself just for amendment. Look, I oppose this amendment, and I hope everyone on the committee opposes this.
Listen.
That's because.
Listen. How y'all doing? I need y'all to like this video. You know, if you want to share it, share. If you want to comment, comment. I'm not asking for nothing but how you doing. Look, they disappeared quick. Like, damn, soon as you talk, they was out. No, don't want to hear her. Well, I might as well just shut the fuck up then, huh? Damn, it's my channel. Can I talk? Can I talk? I mean, shit. Soon as I said something, 5 people did. All I did was say like the video, comment, subscribe if you haven't. I mean, damn. Okay, I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Let me go back to the video then. Let me shut up.
Today's vote and the floor to come in and answer questions. Pam Bondi is coming.
Nah, it's a commercial. That's what y'all get. Trying to dead me. Trying to dead me. Go back.
Well, we'll see. I think that's a good. She may. I hope she does. So I oppose this. Now, Chair recognizes Mr. Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wanted to start by saying I strongly support the amendment proposed by Congresswoman Lee. The House majority keeps saying that they believe that no one is above the law.
That's right.
Oversight Democrats certainly believe that. But the Attorney General is violating it with impunity in support of a White House cover-up every single day. We want accountability for her failure to comply with our subpoena for the full Epstein files that's been in place since the summer. She fails to comply with the Epstein Files Transparency Act. She fails to comply with the subpoena put in place by Representative Lee and the committee. This is clearly a White House directed cover-up. Now, over a month after the deadline, only 1% of these files have been released. No explanation has been given for illegal redactions, again in violation of the law. Epstein survivors have reported that their names have appeared in parts of the document that were not redacted. And every day, she continues to withhold files and conceals the truth. She continues to give Ghislaine Maxwell special treatment by moving her to a less secure prison that we all are aware, which is completely shameful. And Chairman Comer, you claim, of course, that the Attorney General was complying with our subpoena. I mean, that is absolutely false. 1% of the documents since a subpoena in place during the summer is not complying with our subpoena. Now, on August 5th, 2025, this committee issued that subpoena, compelling her to produce documents and communications. That subpoena unambiguously required the Attorney General to do that no later than August 19th of 2025. August 19th, not December, August 19th of 2025. On August 22nd, the DOJ made a single production of approximately 33,000 pages to this committee. All of those documents, however, were already public. The DOJ has made no additional production to the committee pursuant to the subpoena. The DOJ has failed to provide specific information in response to repeated requests from Democratic oversight staff as to why the DOJ's timetable continues to move and why it's not.
Okay, it's getting a little boring to me. I'm gonna keep it real. It's getting a little boring to me. After a while, my attention span goes too, just like everybody that clicked in and clicked out. Now, I don't know who's hanging on with me, if it's my boy, but you see these little emojis down here? Go in your little comment things. There's emojis. I think they're so cute. You see me put the game over and the little hearts and all that. I really like it. I think it's like really interesting. So I started just putting them in there like they I like them. Look at this is pink shit. Check it out. Yeah, so they want Pam Bondi ass on a damn platter. If y'all know who Pam Bondi is, she's the House Speaker. She's the my bad. Yeah, she's the House Speaker. She speaks for Trump. Then you got the other lady that is the Attorney General that Trump put in office. That bitch don't even know what she doing, y'all. So there's a fight going on. They want Pam Bondi's head on a damn platter. They want Trump ass out the damn office. They want Bill Clinton ass to get in that subpoena because they want Pam Bondi to release. They said 1%. That was 5 million damn pages. Can y'all imagine what the 100% is? The 100%. Now you know Trump name all up in that shit. Let's go see what Mr. Coner got to say.
People and the Clintons are not treated differently. Maxwell was always, she was willing to appear, but made very clear she would take the Fifth Amendment. The Clintons refused to appear. And one of the proposals that Clinton made was, if we would let Hillary Clinton off, then Mr. Garcia and I could travel to Mr. Clinton's house and bring one staffer and take notes, but no transcript. That's not even a thing, and you all know that. The media, I'm sure, would require a transcript. There's no real investigation without a transcript. So, what few counter proposals that the Clintons' massive legal team has made aren't acceptable. And I don't think anyone is going to stand up here and willing to publicly argue that they were. So does any other member seek recognition? Mr. Frost.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The American people deserve full transparency, and anyone who has relevant information about Jeffrey Epstein's crimes must be compelled to come forward and share with this committee. Wealth and power cannot shield people from accountability from this committee. It is the victims of these horrific crimes who deserve protection, not Jeffrey Epstein and the people associated with him. We all agree. We want to hear from former President Bill Clinton. But committee Republicans have failed to conduct a serious investigation. For instance, they refused to hold Attorney General Pam Bondi in contempt for failure to release 99% of the Epstein files on a bipartisan law that we all passed on the House floor. And B, that had a deadline. And B, they refused to hold Ghislaine Maxwell accountable for defying this committee's subpoenas. We all know that President Trump has a long-standing relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. His administration continues to obstruct the release of the Epstein files for this reason. We've seen photos of them together. Even Elon Musk posted at Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason why they have not been made public. President Trump's own Mar-a-Lago club appears to come up often in connection to Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
From reporting, we know that Epstein was deeply involved with Mar-a-Lago. He was a frequent visitor to the club for years. The club sent employees, usually young women, to Epstein's mansion for massages, manicures, and other spa services. Staff members from the club made frequent calls to Epstein's home in Palm Beach. And on these calls, Epstein engaged in sexually suggestive behavior, such as exposing himself. And in 2000, Ghislaine Maxwell recruited Epstein's trafficking victim from Mar-a-Lago, where she was working as an employee. This committee must also investigate what Mar-a-Lago club members and the staff knew about Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. Getting documents from Mar-a-Lago is about uncovering evidence, holding these people accountable, and doing right by the victims of these horrific crimes. So we are all for making sure that we hear from everyone. I don't care if you're a Democrat, I don't care if you're a Republican. I'm tired of rich people trying to evade justice and accountability, period.
That's right.
But you can't do it just for the party you disagree with. You can't do it in a politically motivated way. So here's the opportunity to show it's not a politically motivated thing. Let's also make sure that we get these documents from Mar-a-Lago. So with that, pursuant to Clause 2K6 of House Rule 11, I move that the House shall subpoena the Mar-a-Lago Club and all entities under common ownership or control with the Mar-a-Lago Club to provide the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform with 1, all documents, communications, and materials related to Jeffrey Epstein, to include but not limited to personnel files and records, client files and records, massage and spa services records, complaints and grievances filed against Jeffrey Epstein, internal communications and billing statements. 2, a list of all Mar-a-Lago Club personnel who provided massages on behalf of the Mar-a-Lago Club between 1997 and 2003, regardless of whether such personnel were contractors or formerly employed masseuses or otherwise. And 3, a list of all Mar-a-Lago Club personnel who were employed as or acted as managers of the Mar-a-Lago Club Spa between 1997 and 2003.
It's going down, y'all. It's about to go down.
A motion was made by Mr. Frost. The motion is improper as the item is not on the agenda. Any other chair recognizes?
So Mr. Chair, you want to use procedure to push back accountability?
No, we're holding people accountable today. That's why we're here.
Well, why won't you move to make sure that we get the relevant documents from Mar-a-Lago that I just read this?
That's right.
And you're saying it's because it's not on the agenda that we can't move forward with this? You have full discretion.
That's the problem
of this committee.
I lost 110 pounds.
That's the goddamn problem.
Because my excess skin.
They always
So
trying to hold
change
some
that.
bullshit back.
Who are hiding behind process to protect these Mar-a-Lago documents, and I think it's disgraceful.
Bullshit.
Chair recognizes Mr. Cloud.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One thing was noted in the Clinton's letters is they said the subpoenas were illegal. I'd be curious to know if the ranking member thinks that they're illegal. And with that, I yield the rest of my time to you.
Thank you, Mr. Cloud. I want to make sure everyone is aware. On February 11th, Attorney General Bondi will be appearing as the sole witness in front of the Judiciary Committee. Ms. Crockett is a member of the Judiciary Committee. I would assume, I don't want to speak for Ms. Crockett, but I would assume you'll ask her questions about the Epstein investigation and her progress towards releasing the documents. Mr. Massey is a member of the Judiciary Committee. He's already stated publicly he's going to spend his 5 minutes asking the Attorney General about the Epstein documents. So the Attorney General is slated to be in front of Congress, and I'm pretty confident that just about everybody on that committee is going to ask the Attorney General where we are with the document production. So I think that's important to note. February 11th, she's slated to be in front of the Judiciary Committee. And with the discharge petition, when the House voted for that, we issued the subpoenas for the Epstein documents. Then we all voted for the discharge petition. The discharge petition has jurisdiction in the Judiciary Committee. So she's going to be in front of the Judiciary Committee. The next week we're in session. So I think that's important to note. Do any other members see? Okay, Mr. Lynch, then, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would remind the gentleman, and I'm sure he knows this, that the Oversight Committee is the principal investigatory committee in the House. And we have a responsibility. It may be a shared responsibility with Judiciary, but we nevertheless have a responsibility. And we are the ones who issued that subpoena. This committee did. We are the ones who sat with the victims, right? We looked them in the eye.
Right.
Including the Speaker of the House. We looked them in the eye.
So let me tell y'all real quick while everybody was chiming in. Thanks for the emojis. Ain't that's popcorn, right? That's awesome. I ain't even gonna I like the emojis. That's what's popping. I'm gonna put the little hearts. I'm gonna put the hearts. But you'll check it out. Do you think that shit gonna hit the fan for real, for real? You heard everything they were saying and what they want to do. Mar-a-Lago, that was a whole nother place for Trump and his other peoples and Epstein and all of them. They was working together, and I really do believe it. Allegedly, I gotta say on this damn app. But I'm saying though, y'all know what time it is. Stop playing. Trump know he was messing around with that goddamn. They probably was fucking each other too. Ooh, allegedly, y'all. Stop playing with me though. Yo, cause them freaky frog ass men's was messing with each other's asses back in the day. Sorry to say it like that, but they were. I be watching these old ancient ass 1600. I'd be like, what? It was creeping then down low. So I don't want to hear shit. Who knows if they were fucking lovers? It's a whole goddamn mess. But y'all, I'm gonna get off of here and I'm gonna come back. So when I come back, cause I try to slide the Jim Jones in there, but I'm gonna come back with how it looked like they trying to say 50 Cent got Jim Jones evicted. Now. Why would a grown man get another grown man evicted? I don't know. I'm gonna keep it real. I really wouldn't understand. But I'm gonna come back with that video, and we're gonna explain some situations around here on why is Jim Jones and not rapping about it no more. Okay, because that's their podcast. Somebody about to be in somebody's basement, and that's what they should have did. I wouldn't have did no studio. They should have did like everybody in the damn studio. So now you niggas is kicking the damn door down, and it look like 50 got y'all evicted. I'm out of this jump off, y'all. I'm about to come back. I'll be back in like another hour. I'm out. Thank you. Hit the like button, share the video.